Hi everyone, Spider-Man 1991 here, and I'm going to review another DC animated movie. This movie is Justice League Doom. The story that this is based off of is from the 90s Justice League series JLA, and it's the story arc Tower of Babel. Basically what happens is Batman's files on the League's weaknesses and strategies on how to beat them fall into the wrong hands. For the comic book, it was, basically in the movie, Vandal Savage sends Mirror Master into the Batcave, hacks the Bat computer, gets the files and strategies on how to beat Batman, then hires several supervillains who faced each Justice League member in the past, and gives them the strategies so that they can defeat them. There's pretty much a file on everyone except Batman, but hey, Vandal Savage hired Bane, so you know. And basically, the team discovers that that Batman was responsible for all the files, and it leads to this huge rift between the Justice League and Batman. A lot of distrust now, and the movie basically ends with, and spoiler alert, the movie and the story arc basically end with Batman ultimately resigning from the League, because he feels that since the others don't see the real reason why he created really see why he created the files, then he shouldn't be there. Okay, that's my summary of it. Now for the review time. All right. Well, first of all, let me say that this is the last written adaptation DC animated movie written by Dwayne McDuffie right before his death last February, February 2011, and it's very sad, and it's really sad that we lost him because he was the co-founder. For those of you who don't know, Dwayne McDuffie was one of the co-founders of Milestone Media, and he also did a lot. And he wrote a lot of comics, contributed a lot as both an editor, and he also did a ton. And he was also one of the main minds behind the Justice League cartoon, Static Shock. Well, actually, yeah, he even created Static in comic book form before the TV series. And also, he's also one of the creative minds behind, I believe, non-comic book cartoons like Ben 10, and I think he was behind What's New Scooby-Doo. But still, Dwayne McDuffie was a very creative person, a brilliant writer. I mean, he was able to adapt. He was able to turn this into this, though. I think that's brilliant. I still think that's brilliant, and it's very sad that he's gone, and he will be missed. Now then, back to the actual movie. There are differences between... even though Dwayne did a great job at adapting this, there are some major differences between the movie and the comic. First of all, being the lineup of the League. Okay, instead of our lineup in the movie is basically Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Flash, and Martian Manhunter. I know Cyborg's in the movie, but he's not a part of the League until the end. Okay, right from the beginning to the final battle, he's just pretty much on the team as kind of a consultant. And then he's made an official member at the end of the movie. Okay? But the lineup in the comic was basically Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Flash, Martian Manhunter, Aquaman, and Plastic Man. In the movie, though, Plastic Man and Aquaman are completely omitted. And also, though, the comic features Wally West and Kyle Rayner as Flash and Green Lantern, respectively. Whereas in the movie, we're given Barry Allen and Hal Jordan. That's kind of a weird... I don't really have that much of a big deal between using Hal Jordan instead of Kyle Rayner, but using Wally West, though, using Barry Allen instead of Wally West, it felt weird because this is the thing. The voice casting in this movie... Michael Rosenbaum is the Flash again, but in this time he's Barry Allen instead of Wally West. I just think that's a little weird, because whenever I think of Michael Rosenbaum voicing the Flash, I just assume it's Wally West, because that's who he was voicing in Justice League, And I don't know, hearing him do Barry Allen, it just felt a little strange because I think his voice is really more for Wally rather than Barry. I think some people do share that opinion, others might not, but that's just how I feel. And next point, the voice. Next point, but back to the main point of the differences between not just the lineup but also the villain. In the comic book, we have Ra's al Ghul, and in the movie we have Vandal Savage. Not really that much difference, though. I mean, basically, they both want to destroy the human race. Well, not destroy it, just weaken it enough that it becomes a small number so that they can rule over them again. But their methods are different. In Ra's al Ghul's case, he doesn't hire supervillains. He builds a huge tower that pretty much confuses everyone's methods of speaking and writing and almost all forms of communication, and also Vandal on the other hand, he hires supervillains to take care of the League for him, and he also plans to pretty much use the sun, launch a missile into the sun, and then create solar radiation that's going to wipe out almost 2/3 of the planet. Wait, no, I think it was more like half the planet's population. Anyways, they both want the same thing: total world domination. The only thing different is their methods and guy in charge. However, though, it's still basically the same idea, villain threat. But I think with Ra's case, it would make more sense. It would make more sense if Ra's al Ghul was the villain because he is Batman's foe, and this whole story does begin with hacking Batman's files, and who better know Batman better than Ra's al Ghul, right? So it does feel a little weird that Vandal Savage is, well, maybe not weird. I mean, it works in a way, but it's still a huge difference in the story. Also, another difference that they did was all the different traps to take out each member of the League. For Martian Manhunter, it's basically the same thing. I mean, he's lit on fire. Well, it's more like it's more like he's infected with magnesium, and that pretty much lights him on fire for most of the movie. But for Green Lantern, though, in the comics, Kyle Rayner was pretty much given a post-hypnotic suggestion that rendered him blind, and for Hal Jordan, though, it was pretty much faking an accident to look like Carol Ferris had died because he was being reckless with the ring, and it ultimately breaks Hal's will and causes the ring not to work. Wonder Woman, Cheetah exposes her to a poison that causes her to see every other living person as Cheetah, but in the comics she's exposed to some sort of VR program, virtual reality, that makes her fight this sort of seemingly evenly matched, unbeatable opponent, but the basic goal is still the same for Wonder Woman: is that it's trying to get her heart to burn out, and she'll go into cardiac arrest. For Flash, in the movie, Flash was given a bomb that if he runs lower, if he doesn't stop running, then it's going to take out anyone within a 3-mile radius, and if he tries to vibrate through the bomb will automatically go off. But in the comic, though, instead he's shot with a special bullet that causes him to experience seizures epileptic seizures at the speed of light, which it's definitely more painful than it sounds. And finally, Superman. In the comics, it was a little more complex. Batman actually created his own version of red kryptonite, and when Superman was exposed to it, it caused his skin to go transparent and that caused him to experience severe power overload from, being exposed to Earth's sun and stuff. But in the movie, Metallo just shoots him with a kryptonite bullet. I mean, come on, really? It's like, wow, kryptonite bullet, that's totally original. And come on, it's Batman, for crying out loud. You expect him to be more creative. I mean, really, come on. I mean, if Batman was going to take Superman out, I think he would do something a lot more than a kryptonite bullet, no less, than... I mean... But... Alright, one of the more positive notes about this movie is the voice casting, which I really, really enjoyed. I mean, Tim Daly from Superman the Animated Series is back being the Man of Steel. Kevin Conroy as the Dark Knight. That's great. And pretty much everyone else from Justice, and Michael Rosenbaum, Susan Eisenberg, and, who voices, and, I'm looking up, Carl Lumbly as Martian Manhunter, and Michael Rosenbaum as the Flash. All three from Justice League voicing their characters, well, except for Michael, who's voicing Barry Allen, Flash, instead of Wally. But also for Green Lantern, Hal Jordan is voiced by none other than Nathan Fillion. Gotta admit, I like that Nathan Fillion voicing Hal Jordan. It's right. And he should have played Hal Jordan, and now I'm definitely... I mean, back when Green Lantern, the live-action movie, was coming out, a lot of people were saying, like, other people that should have played Green Lantern instead of Ryan Reynolds. Well, I think I'm now ready to join the group that's saying Nathan Fillion should have played Hal Jordan. I mean, now, thanks to this movie, I really think Nathan Fillion was perfect for Hal Jordan. But, okay, back to the movie. Still, a lot of good voice casting here. I mean, they definitely got their all-star team back for this. Great. But if you've read the comic book, you are going to notice the severe differences that I said, but it still shouldn't stop you from enjoying the film, okay? That's something that I think every comic book fan should try to, go in. Even though there will be differences, you have to remember that you can't let that affect your judgment with the movie. Even if there are some big things, like what I just said. But still, I think if you are going to... But my overall opinion of the movie, though, is... It's just, for me, it's like maybe 3 out of 5 to 4 stars. Okay, that's how I think of it. Because the last movie, DC animated movie that came out was Batman Year One, and that was a direct adaptation from the comic book. I even said that in my review. That was a direct adaptation. This, though, there is differences. So, I think Year One kind of spoiled me a little. But hey, I think Doom kind of knocked me right back into thinking that reminded me again that there are going to be differences. But okay, overall opinion still it's 3.5 to 4 stars because, well, the runtime, it's only about an hour. Okay, I really think maybe it could have been longer. I mean, it just felt like the story was rushed. That's all I'm saying. It was rushed, and well, actually, maybe I forget. I was about to say that maybe adding the Legion of Doom did give the story some length, but no, I really don't think the Legion of Doom was necessary at all, because when they used Ra's al Ghul, he was still much of a threat even without them, so I would still highly recommend both, the comic and the movie. Just depends on which one you would like the most. Hell, get both. And this is still a great story. I mean, it's pretty much what would happen if... I mean, Batman is pretty much the smartest guy in the DC universe, alright? I'll say... I mean, we're all thinking of Batman, greatest. But, well, what happens when Batman... I mean, this idea obviously has occurred to Batman. What if the Justice League went rogue? That's the reason Batman designed the fail-safes. And Batman was worried that if the Justice League did become evil, he has to think of a way to stop them, to make sure that they don't go off track or anything. And, well... And, oh yeah, also the ending, though, when Batman decides to resign. In the comic, where each League member is able to talk out how they feel about it, and each one's voting. I mean, some actually do say that Batman shouldn't be expelled. Others did. However, though, in the movie, everyone's cut off. Batman cuts them off right before they start to vote. He just pretty much says, "Okay, if you don't understand why contingency plan is necessary, I'm out." So that's how it happens. But I mean, this is still Tower of Babel is still a great story. IGN even put this on their list of great Batman graphic novels. I mean, I won't necessarily say this is a Batman film. I mean, even though he he is the center of it. I don't classify this as a Batman story. I classify this as a Justice League story because it's not just about Batman's actions, it's about the rest of the League's reaction. But still, Justice League Doom is a pretty great movie. I would definitely recommend this. It does remind you some about the old Justice League animated universe. So there's some fun so there's a brief nostalgia in that. Great voice casting. It's an okay adaptation, but like I said, there are a few flaws, but it's... Yeah, sorry about that. My camera battery just died. I had to go recharge it, but anyways, closing thoughts. Justice League Doom is still a great movie. Has some nostalgia in it with the old voice cast. Yes, there are differences, but can't stop you from enjoying the movie. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I still give it 3.5 to 4 out of 5 stars. So Spider-Man 1991 saying, see you later.